You know, when you say that sometimes one wonders, are these things really that easy to achieve? Take, for instance, power. We know the PDP, you had different targets. You had the power sector roadmap, you had the target of 10,000 megawatts at a certain time, but we never generated 7,000. Now, the APC tell us they're generating 7,000. I think by 2020, they're targeting 10,000 megawatts.
You see, one of the areas where the APC, as a political party, seems to be very good at is with clichéing figures or just bandying things that...
You don't think we have up to 7,000 megawatts?
You be the judge of that, whether you have electricity in your own homes. Look, in the first instance, do you think it was very easy for us as a party and as a government to unbundle the former NEPA? The whole idea of bringing private sector into the energy, the energy sector of Nigeria is so that we can probably get the same benefit we got from privatizing NITEL and getting the GSMs. So if that worked, the GSM one has worked, eventually this is going to work. What we know is that these APC people have come with no new idea. The best is that they'll see the ideas that we have put in place, they'll get angry and say they want to change it, they don't like it. 5 minutes after they go into their own half ill thought out ideas, they'll run back to us. Look at what they've done with agriculture. Until we left, we were like becoming the board of everybody in the world in terms of our agricultural initiative and what we're doing. What did they do?
We said they have single-digit interest rates for agri purposes.
Forgive me. But
did we?
Forgive me. The finance part of it must follow private sector dictate. You cannot legislate single interest rate to the to banks. If you're doing that, you're just fooling yourself, because it means that you have to constantly be looking for money to shore it up. No. That's not how a private sector-led economy runs. The way a private sector-led economy runs is that you make the environment liberal, you give them the advantage, you prop them up, you do the laws and all that, and you give them the protection, and then you allow private sector to make up his mind what is the effective and equivalent exchange rate that they can charge.
But that didn't happen in time past.
It did to some extent. You know what we... You see, the problem with Nigeria is that Nigerians generally is that you seem to forget where we're coming from. You give the impression that in 1999, when the PDP took over government, there was El Dorado in Nigeria. No, Nigeria was on the brinks. Debt was heavy. People were despondent. We took care of all that. And in terms of what we're saying, precisely now is that if you sit down and try to imagine what spectacular thing has the APC done in the time that it's been in government, you will just find out that all they've been doing is rhetorics and telling tales. Even on the ones where you think that they're going to be very good, which is the anti-corruption drive and effort that they will do, you marvel at how they can live with themselves when their former SSG stole, the Secretary of the Government of the Federation did the mod that he did. Nobody's talking about it.
No, there's a report.
There's a report.
We haven't seen.
If you're going to ride on anti-corruption, the first thing you're going to do is that you're going to give the impression that even around you, you're not going to tolerate things. You can't be losing. We can't discover money in the house in the Korea and nobody's talking about it. You can't be bandying figures. People cannot do the kinds of things.
But the press is asking that when will that report, or what will happen to that report?
The point I'm trying to make to you is that if that is going to be one of the major flank of your campaign, you can't falter on it. You have to be really firm on that, because let me tell you what, I had personally as a person expected that there's the way we know Buhari from his previous era, and I had expected that some social change would take place in the country because he's been back. One of them is I expected that he will figure out a way to get Nigerians to be a bit more disciplined. I'd expected that he'll figure out a way to make sure that the organizations that already exist, let me give you one, like road safety. You'll expect that, okay, the Buhari that is very strict is back. These guys should now begin to do their job. You know what you find? You find out that it's business as usual. The cars on the road are still very rickety.
But the argument out there is that your party had 16 years. So how do you expect this current administration in...
Let me tell you what, I'll tell you what we did in the first 2 years.
Your errors.
Let me tell you what we did in the first 2 years, in the first 2-3 years of our own administration of PDP in 1999, between 1999 and 2001, so that you will have an idea that we're comparing likes with likes. In 1999, Nigeria was a depressed economy, was a pariah state. We came in immediately, we reflated the economy, we gave salaries to teachers, we got them to begin to get the production system running again. Within that period, we liberalized GSM, everybody could have access to telemedicine. We liberalized the education sector, new universities sprang up. We liberalized even the telecommunication, the media sector, and everybody. You know what I'm trying to say? within the first 2-3 years, we even went around trying to get debt forgiveness, and eventually we got it. What we're saying is that, are we going to tell Nigerians to wait for these kinds of people whom right now everybody is stressed? There's no part of this country you go to, there's no human being in Nigeria today who does not feel the impact of the stress in the economy. And you then ask, they are running budgets that are very balloon. They are running big budgets. And they're claiming that they are running the budget, they are increasing the budget expectations, and they are saying they're releasing money for capital. Where is the effect on the economy?
Let me ask you this politically. I mean, what gives your party, you know, I know you're preparing for the convention, but what gives you the impression that Nigerians will be looking to look the way of the PDP again?
You see, thank you. It's a very good question. The Nigerians have tasted and they have experienced the great hula baloo that APC eventually brought in. And the Nigerians would have been maybe happy if some successes, immediate low-hanging fruit successes had taken place. Right now, the Nigerians are so stressed, they can't wait to have the opportunity to just tell them, thank you very much, it was nice while it lasted, go figure out what you want to do with yourself. Because it appears as if the APC, especially the President Muhammadu Buhari, to not call him the former title he had, even though he was a general, always a general, he seemed to have wanted the job without asking himself whether he had the wherewithal to do it. And I sympathize with him. Age is not on his side. His health has been all that, and you know. But is he the only person that's supposed to drive their government? You look around their states, you are seeing the same attitude. You look around their local government, nothing is inspiring. You look around the federal government agencies and their policy, there are no champions anymore.
You don't think Nigerians would rather see a new party rather than go back to the PDP?
Well, the problem is that, you see, we must be careful that we keep destroying the institution, believing that we'll start afresh all the time. For me, as a person, I expect that the APC should remain as a party, and they should try and get themselves together and become a party, while the PDP also gets its act together and become a better party. And if you watch the PDP, you will see the things we're doing. You already said we're trying to do convention. You can see that there's activities within our own political party. When I go through their party, it's like dead. They run their party on the basis of, if they have one governor, the governor is the party, the governor is everything. If they have a president, the president is the party, the president is everything. Even their hitherto big players in their party, they've been silenced. So they've not become a party. But look at ours. It's vibrating. There's activities going there. In the next couple of days, we're going to be choosing a national chairman for this party. And by the grace of God, I expect that, of course, my candidate, His Excellency Joseph Olusegun, fully prepared, ready, articulate, brilliant, suave, connected, people-friendly, will eventually emerge. And even when he emerges, you will see that within the PDP, you look at the quality of people we're parading. Bode George wants to be, Adeniro wants to be, Daniel wants to be, Dokwesi wants to be, and a few others that probably are still going to indicate. So right, you will understand that that is a microcosm of Nigeria. Whatever people don't like about PDP in Nigeria today, it's like saying you don't like your own shadow.
Well, it's up to the people to decide.
The APC is a strange organization that has come with these strange economic policies, and Nigerians are truly, truly suffering. In a very short time, we'll tell them enough is enough. Go back to your house and go and prepare again.
Well, anchor at that point, Segun Showunmi is a member of the PDP.